Merry Christmas guys and girls, my name is Mike and this is a top 5 tips and tricks for all you people that just got this brand new PSVR headset for Christmas. I hope you enjoy. Now if you have just got the PSVR for Christmas you might be a bit confused, there might be certain things that you're not too sure about or certain things that might not be living up to your expectations at the moment. Now there are a couple of tips and tricks that I found throughout the past year using PSVR that may help you with this. So let's jump into tip number 1. So tip number 1 is eye distance. Now there is an option within the settings of the PS4 when the PSVR is connected to measure something called IPD, that stands for interpupillary distance. I actually had to read that on my screen there because I always forget the name of it because it annoys me. But basically what you can do, there's two options, there's manual and automatic. Automatic, you look directly into the PlayStation camera and that measures the distance between your eyes. Some people find it helpful, some people it works really well for and it clears any sort of like screen blurring or anything like that up. Other people have to do it manually. Now I would advise doing both just to check and just make sure if you're doing it manually you get the number that you're on at the moment in case you want to go back to it. Because it is probably best off to do that, just so if that was better then just keep it at that. And again guys, if you are using glasses, just remember to pull that forward. The front black bit, brilliant advice if you have got glasses and it's helping with measuring eye distance. If you are measuring eye distance, I do actually recommend to take your glasses off while it does it. That might seem really silly, but honestly it does help. On to tip number 2. That was 1, that's 2. On to tip number 2. So the quick release button, if you don't actually know what this is, I call it a little quick release button because that's what it is to me. On the bottom of your PSVR headset, there's this black dot here. You can pull it forward and back, forward and back. That's what I was just talking about. It really helps glasses users. But guys, instead of taking your headset off all the time, you don't have to pull all these headphones off and the headset off, getting it back all positioned properly. You might smudge the screen while you're taking it on and off. It's just hard work doing that, especially in the middle of a game. You don't want to be doing that, do you really? Let's be honest. Something that you can do, you've got this pulled all the way forward. Just pull it forward even if you have it all the way back and boom, you just created a gap. You can see right underneath you, that's enough for you just to raise your head up. You can look, you can find your controller, you can find a mouse, keyboard, say you want your drink, you can find your drink, have your drink, and once you're done, just slide it on back, boom, sorted. So that just acts as a quick release mechanism, makes things a lot easier for you rather than taking the headset on and off all the time to find out where you are in the real world. On to tip number 3. I actually put 3 up that time. So guys, my third tip is a really good one and it's changed the screen brightness. Now personally I prefer it on 100% screen brightness, that is my personal opinion, but I have friends that do struggle with a lot of eye strain when screens are on 100% brightness. So great thing that you can do is you can go into settings earlier where I mentioned where you can find the camera eye distance setting. There is also an option to change down screen brightness. Now there is a second option along as screen brightness, but I'll get onto that in a minute. So screen brightness, you can change that down. A lot of people find it comfortable about the 75% mark, 65%. I personally find it comfortable at 100%. So if you are suffering from any sort of eye strain, guys, just make sure you go into that setting, just check it out. It might really help you and make you enjoy the experience a lot more. The second one is, you probably already know about this guys, but when you go into PlayStation VR to start with, you sort of like sat in like a cinema mode screen. You know what I'm on about, you've seen it before because it is when you first start it up and when you're on the dashboard. So what I do, I have it on medium because I prefer medium screen, but there is a setting for small screen and large screen. So if you want it to look like you're sitting closer to the screen, just change it to large, boom, you sat closer. Want to seem like you're a bit further away from the screen, you're a bit too close, change to small, bang, you're a lot smaller, and it looks a lot better. It looks a lot better for some people. I personally prefer medium, guys, but again, it is personal preference. Tip number 4. My 4th tip for you guys today is try as many demos as you can before buying the full game. Because I have been really disappointed in the past. I bought like a PSVR game and it's not been what I expected, but there was a free demo and I could have found that out for myself. Now there isn't many games to steer away from, guys, a lot of them are really fun to enjoy, but please play the demos first before you go out and spend some of your Christmas money to buy more games for your PSVR. Trust me, you will not regret it. It can make you find some absolute gems and you'll really enjoy it. Tip number 5. So guys, I've got one more tip after this. I'm actually going to make it 6 tips. I've decided there's going to be an extra tip in there, I think. But my 5th tip is motion sickness. Now, a lot of you are going to be suffering from motion sickness, especially if you've not done virtual reality before. If you haven't done virtual reality before, there's a few tips that I can do. If you want a medication tip, take something called Quells. They're an anti-sickness tablet for motion sickness. Usually have them if you go boat fishing, train rides, car rides, all that sort of stuff. They might really help you if you want a really quick medical solution. If you're not looking for a medical solution, the best way to get over motion sickness is to ease into it. It might not be what you want to do on Christmas Day, I know guys, I'm sorry, but to get through motion sickness, you will have to basically play for 15 minutes, take the headset off, go down, have a cup of tea with some bickies. Dick Bickies, right? You can't have a cup of tea without bickies, am I right? Go do that, come back, have another 15 minutes, and over the course of the next couple of hours, days, start upping that time. Go to 20 minutes, go to 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour. Just keep going up and building up your tolerance, and eventually you build up the tolerance so far that you won't have to bother about motion sickness anymore, and you won't even see it. Now, if you are wanting to stay away from motion sickness while you do get used to it, don't play any driving games, guys. Number one tip, do not play any driving games. Otherwise, go straight ahead, jump in, you're fine. If you don't really get motion sickness on boats, trains, cars, you might be fine. A lot of people are, but I know a lot of people who do get motion sickness, especially when you have them with the headset on and you're driving and you crash and spin, and yeah, that's not nice. So guys, the extra tip that I'm putting here, so tip number 6. So this is the extra tip, guys, and basically what tip number 6 is, tip number 6 is more of just if you are getting some sort of like lag between the headset movement that may be causing the motion sickness, this is part of tip 5. There's two things that you can do. Number 1, get rid of Bluetooth devices. If you've got a phone in your pocket, throw it to the other side of the room, not quite literally because I don't want you to break your iPhone or anything like that. Don't do that, okay. Just put it in airplane mode, put it down on the side, nice and gently, no throwing. Just nice and gently on the side, boom. It should get rid of any Bluetooth interference. If there's any family members in the room, ask them to do the same, I'm sure they won't mind. The only other tip from that, apart from putting your phone into Bluetooth mode, dim the lights in the room. If you can't dim the lights, turn them off. Trust me, sometimes like light reflecting off the headset, off a wall, because it uses the lights to track movement and everything, it can get a bit confused. So if you are having a problem there, guys, use those 2 tips, it'll be really handy. I hope altogether these 6 tips helped you out. If they have, guys, remember to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. If you need any more advice for PlayStation VR, I don't mind giving it in the comments down below. Comment your problem and I'll try and help the best that I can. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Mike, and I'll see you guys in the next video.